Welcome, I'm David Geiger. An Iowa representative questioned the Department of Energy leader on the plan to deal with renewable fuel waiver recommendations this week. The Department of Energy is looking at 52 gap year petitions, which would retroactively waive oil refiners' obligations to blend ethanol. Biofuel groups have called for outright rejection of these petitions. In an oversight hearing from the House Energy and Commerce Committee, Iowa Representative Dave Loebsack asked if DOE will conform to a recent court decision on the waivers. Energy Secretary Dan Brulette says these petitions are under review, but they will do everything according to the law.
And we will ensure, whatever analysis we are required to conduct under the law, whatever we send to EPA is going to be fully compliant with not only the 10th Circuit decision, but also the federal statute.
Brulette adds there were differing legal opinions on the 10th Circuit decision on gap year waivers. Loebsack then asked if the EPA had sent any petitions from refiners that had previously submitted in the exact same year but were denied a waiver back then. Brulette did not have an answer for that, but says the method for analyzing and recommending waiver requests have not changed from those previous years, leading to this exchange.
Well, if it's not changed the methodology, then doesn't it stand to reason that DOE would have no choice but to score these do-over gap year petitions exactly the same way as the department did the first time?
Yes, sir. We've not changed our methodology. I mean, we have done this in the same manner in which we've done since the creation of the program back in 2005.
There is no timeline on when the Department of Energy plans to submit its recommendations to the Environmental Protection Agency. And market analyst Dan Huber says wheat is surprising the markets, which in turn is helping the corn.
Of course, weather has been good enough to, it's kind of psychological to keep the pressure on the corn market. But, looking just a bit out, we've got some hot temperatures coming back in. Granted, it was largely ignored earlier this week. Huge sales of corn to China, beans 8-9 cents higher here this morning. So, same thing, good sales. We know there's been probably somewhere between 8 and 10 cargoes are being sold to China again here this week. Weekly export sales numbers were pretty solid. So, granted, we're not moving into necessarily new high territory, but back up to resistance. Cattle were really a nice push here. And granted, the cattle market, has not suffered quite the same as what hogs have as of late, but, we just didn't seem to be able to kind of get over the hump and move into higher territory, and finally have kind of pushed through that here today. Similar situation in the hog market. We just absolutely have to find some good news in there to bring it out. And finally, like you say, I think some of the economic trade, is painting a little bit better picture here. And granted, we've got a long ways to come. I mean, we're really not that far off with some of the extreme lows, but the first good glimmer of hope we've probably seen here since for the last month and a half, 2 months.
And that's all I have for the Agribusiness Report today. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you again next time.